All right, everybody, welcome on back. Continuing along, of course, our Monday afternoon. What even is the date of today? I'm losing track of this already. July 20th. Welcome on back for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. Was working in the office earlier today, made the trip back home, ready for class this afternoon. Great to see everybody, though. Bonnie, David, Dennis, Chuck, Guy, Cliff, Jose, Phil, Stephanie as well, and as well as all of our members joining us across social media, Facebook Live, YouTube. Welcome on back, guys. So without further ado, we do have class lined up this afternoon for all of us here live in the trading room. We have Phase 1, Lesson 2 lined up this afternoon. We'll be talking about specifically order types, market versus limit order. I look forward to it, but with that in mind, let's rip right through the percent gainers and losers list, guys. So more of a lightning round edition of this afternoon meeting. For any of the stocks that we ended up doing very well on, I'll try and run them down fairly quick. But without further ado, I want to begin building up our list going into the afternoon. So at least to begin, 19.57% and counting AXU. Fausto just called this one out before. He called it out earlier this morning, shortly after the open. It wasn't one that was on our main CTU list, but ended up popping out of the gate. Fausto called it early on and just most recently called it out going into the afternoon once it ended up breaking higher. So, easy enough for us to put this stock on our list. To see a stock like AXU, holding strong near the highs of the day going into the close, encouraging sign to see continuation. Hopefully for the final hour, if not the hour, hopefully the final 30 minutes, 3:30 Eastern time going into the close. All right, we would have seen that anyway on the percent gainers list. So from right now, what we'll do is go right from top to bottom. All right, this IMRN to begin. So, this one we ended up trading going back into early June. I think it was like the 8th or 9th of June. We ended up seeing this stock just explode in pre-market, dumped off shortly after the open, but then ended up lifting off shortly after that. So you could see here, June 9th. 660 to freaking 29 bucks. So we know this stock has the legs to run, obviously, and we've seen stocks like this across the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Stocks like WIMI that ended up going from 6 to 30. I mean, pretty much the same move. EQ, another crazy one from last week, right? Of course, I can keep going. I mean, U1, Carve, Cohen, all these pump and dumps over the last month or so. This falls right in that same category. So the IMRN trade going into the afternoon, it's holding a higher low, but a lower high. It's kind of filling in sideways here, and I don't really like that going into the close. So, for right now, we'll avoid this. It's obviously up 140+%, given the range across the day and what we've seen in the past. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me to see this stock make $1 pop out of nowhere, but with this pattern on the chart, I'm not ready to just put this on our list, given the wacky spread, very light order book. The warrants, same thing. I mean, even bigger. I think the warrants have a bigger spread and much less volume on the book compared to the regular one. That's crazy. And this thing is way more volatile in terms of the move up and down. So, yeah, I mean, for right now, both we're going to pass on. This TNXP, on the other hand, this one definitely looks great as of right now. I got tricked on this trade a little bit earlier today. I feel like maybe a couple of us did. Not too bad, at least if you end up getting out right once it ends up breaking under the level. I took a long trade over 125. I got out at 123. So it was a 3-cent loss. Not bad. Ended up tanking right afterwards, unfortunately. But of course, as you can see, ended up building back up. I wish I could say I'm in this trade right now, but unfortunately I'm not. I was prepping up going into this meeting. I came off a coaching session just before. I turned over to this after Fausto made a comment. Fausto wrote in our chat board at 222. Said the TNXP is making a Fausto flag. So, at the time, and still is, but it's kind of filling in sideways. The highs are holding off the next resistance here, 137 essentially. From there, big 147,000 share seller at 140. You would assume 150 to be the next major level ahead. Even bigger volume on the ask there. So going into the close, I'll put this on our list, definitely. And I love, again, that this is near the highs of the day going into the afternoon. If there's even any further reason to put this stock on our list, look at the daily chart. This stock was not $10,000 back last year this time. I mean, just the number of reverse splits that this stock had likely over the last year and a half, 2-3 years. We've seen this stock on and off, more off than on, but of course, across the last year or so, you could see these wacky pops in the pre-market. Sometimes they were pump and dumps where they gapped up in pre-market and dumped right back down after the open. Looks like this day here back in 2019, April, ended up popping, ended up running up higher a little bit later on. It wasn't a $30 stock back then. So, historically, this TNXP has usually been around $1, a little bit under if it's under NASDAQ listing requirements, or otherwise, just shortly above it. So for right now, definitely we're going to put this on our list. Hopefully, given the amount of splits, the big drop off over the last year and a half or so, hopefully this ends up being an even further winner for us. IBIO, man, this thing ended up doing very well as well this morning. Popped out of the gate, built a higher low support off of 525, ran all the way up towards 7+. Man, this thing has been flying off of COVID news, right? So I think that came out Wednesday of last week, if I'm not mistaken, right here. And I think it was more smack in the middle of the day. I don't know how much time I have here right now. It's only 2:36. Let me just take a quick look. Oh, I got to do a little shake around. Give me a quick sec. All right, that should do the trick. Yep. Yeah, it was the afternoon. That's right. Okay, I was gonna say this is back on the 15th, Wednesday of last week. It was our afternoon runner. I mean, pretty much right during this meeting, it was breaking higher, right? We were calling out resistance at 3. It immediately cracked over the level and ran beautifully going into the close. So, we did very well on this trade earlier today. I feel like at this point, though, it's only going to begin to pull back. At least that's my expectation on it. Definitely a good stock to keep on your radar for the rest of this week, though. Even if this continues to pull back tomorrow, perhaps Wednesday, Thursday of this week, or Friday, we'll end up seeing it make a new run back up. I don't think this DPW is going to be making a new run back up anytime soon. So this trade was a nice runner for us early in pre-market, popped and pretty much right at 7 o'clock, ended up lifting off shortly afterwards, where most of us were not able to catch this. I know some brokers open up earlier, 7 o'clock, even 4 o'clock some, but most brokers, TradeStation included, opens up at 8. So really, we are seeing the shake around quite a bit, bounced off of 450 going into the open, but otherwise ended up tanking, held support off of 4. I ended up going long from 404, ran it up a little bit. Wish I could say I had this full move. Left a lot on the table, but I wanted to leave some on the table rather than, having my entire profit washed out. So the volume died off on this trade rather quick, as did the stock. Obviously near the lows of the day going into the afternoon. Maybe you could say it's at support here, or still holding over support perhaps. I feel like it will pull back towards that 3 going into the afternoon. All right, OGen, easy enough. I'll check out Benzinga here. I don't know what the news is on this OGEN stock. Have it up right now. I may as well take a quick look. And of course, I don't see any headline from Benzinga Pro on this OGEN, so it's not really helping me out right now. Let's see. I'm going to just take a quick rummage through, see if there's anything. I mean, there's got to be. Doesn't have to be, but I feel like there is, to see a stock like this making that sharp of a run up. 56%. I don't see anything, folks. If there's anything that you guys see, maybe type it in the chat board. I'm on Benzinga. I don't see any news in relation to this OGEN. But yeah, I mean, either way, we're not trading the news directly, right? I just wanted to get it to show you guys, just to see why a stock like this is up 58%. But, breaking new highs right now. Looks like we ended up just seeing resistance get filled, 175. So we'll see how far this takes us going into the afternoon. I would assume your next major volume-based level would be off of 2, although there really isn't much volume on the ask there just yet from the matrix. All right, OGEN. This pulls back under 175. Just be a little careful here right now. All right, so that was good timing. What else do we have? HTBX will check out AIM. We have a few familiar names here, guys. The HTBX once again ended up lifting off. Took a little while to get the gears going on this trade, but eventually rebroke above resistance off of 3. From that point, pretty much ran up perfectly up towards 4. So, we ended up seeing stocks like this from last week as well. What was it? The one I messed up on, the BOXL, where back on Thursday of last week here, it gapped up even further. I thought it was going to tank at the open. Ended up running, so I missed out on the morning move here Thursday of last week on BOXL. Well, I bring it up to show you what happened after. So unfortunately, I was wrong at the open. I was right the rest of the day, and the following 2 days here, including today, you're seeing the same thing. So going back to HTBX. Day over day over day over day move. It's not really that close to the high. If anything, Although it's over 350 currently, I feel like this is still making a new lower high around the top, and for this to slam lower going into the close. So for right now, that HTBX, just given the last 3 days of it, it's just due. So I'd rather focus on something else just for right now. Man, this one too, ADMP, what the hell's going on here? Adams Pharmaceutical Company. New high of the day, obviously. Kind of have like a scattered batch of like orders on the book. You see 108, 28,000, 112, 22,000, 115, 26. So none of those really stand out to me. There is one that does stand out at 120, a 62,000 share order on the ask. I like the recent volume on this trade. And obviously the fact it's near the highs. So for right now, I mean, I'll put this on our list. I feel like this will be near the middle, near the bottom as of right now. I like the TNXP a little bit more. That OGen trade I feel a little bit higher on. AIM just as much, right? So AIM's a no-brainer at this point. I'm very surprised it's still pushing up just as well as it is here. Ended up making a perfect pop and run up going into the mid to late morning. Ended up topping off, of course, here at the highs. The volume died off with it. I was thinking it was going to make like a little pop back up, but not to see this run as smoothly as it's been over the last 10 minutes. So, you know what? Hey, at this point, definitely going to put the AIM stock back on our list and definitely near the top. Looks like a beautiful rounded bottom here, higher low off of past resistance, 380-ish, 385. Moving back up perfectly. All right, man, we're still only at 38, 39%. How many stocks do we have on here already? I'm going to keep the good times rolling, folks. PTE, another one that's trying to squeeze up there. I would say this has a really good setup. I mean, like a phenomenal setup in the sense that it broke over 2 already. It held 2 already as resistance. If this ends up re-breaking over 2, I feel confident that this will make a higher high, a push sharper going into the close. All right. I don't want to keep adding every stock that looks like this though on our list, because at the end of it, and I say it a lot, but we're going to have like a huge list going into the end of the day. Let's see. Anything else looking good here? This JMIA definitely going to put on our list. JMIA is one that we're fairly, familiar with. Ended up coming off IPO back in 2019. I think this is April. Popping all the way up towards like 49, 50 bucks at the time, died off right away after. And given how far this stock has dropped, all-time lows, of course, with that in mind, we're patiently waiting for the bounce. We're not like sitting here at our desks like waiting for this stock to finally make a pop. I mean, we traded this a week or 2 ago and we stopped since, but hey, ended up running up shortly after the open. It wasn't one that was on our morning list, but once it popped, we took it. It's only moved up since. So yeah, going into the close, this JMIA definitely will make the cut. Let's see if there's anything else that we can just quickly rummage through here on the gainer side. Any familiar names, at least? Got a few. Capper, SRNE, of course. I want to get back to that one. This SRNE trade just looks so lifeless. It looks like this stock is not going to make any sort of move. News came out early this morning on the trade, shortly after 9 o'clock. Huge pop from 7 up to essentially 9. Pretty much the whole day. It's been lingering around 8. I'm going to come back to this one. I don't know if this is one that Fausto would put on the list himself, but it's not really breaking lower yet. It's been trending down across the afternoon. I've been following the stock fairly diligently, but it is still holding kind of strong, and it's back over 8, which is a major level. The only other line I'll put up here, or if there is a line I'll put up here, actually, it's going to be the opening bell print at $8.15. So aside from 8.15 is going to be a big level to follow going into the afternoon. I'll come back to this trade. I want to go through the losers list first. I want to see if there's maybe anything else. But otherwise, I'll come back to this at the end. GNCA, interesting one here. We've traded this stock in the past, and I don't think this stock, and I could be wrong, maybe the stock is Corona related. No, I can just tell it's not. Just looking back in early January 2020, didn't make that same type of pump up like the rest of them did. I think I'm thinking of another one, but yeah, going into the close. Oh, looks like I lost audio. One sec. I think for all of us here in the trading room. All right, guys, give me a quick second here. I'm going to refresh my trading room screen, and then I should be back for you guys here on the social media stuff, Facebook, YouTube. I'm still good. Give me a split sec. This happens every now and then. I just have to do a quick reboot on my trading room, not the computer, but be good in about 30 seconds, guys. So just bear with me here, at least on Facebook Live, YouTube. All right, test 1 2 1 2. All of us here in the trading room should be good to go now, guys, right? Dennis says good. I think that we're good. Awesome. All right, fingers and toes are crossed now, guys. Let's try and speed this up then with that in mind. So GNCA near the highs. I do like that part of it, but kind of low volume, a very spotty chart prior to this move up. Guys, let me know if the audio cuts out just going forward, but we'll try and get through the rest of this list here. With that in mind, let's hop over to the losers list. We went through most of the gainer side already. I'm going to jump ahead of Gene because Gene was halted on Friday, all of Friday. And I saw one of us wrote, Gene's reopen. I didn't see Gene at all today, guys. This stock, I mean, it was halted on the way down, and I knew it wasn't going to be worth, a really good trade, at least upon the market open. This is really my first glimpse at seeing this trade today. So it looks like it reopened up super early, 8 o'clock. Goes to show where my focus was, right? I mean, with good intent, my focus was on the morning watch list, DPW, HTBX, IMRN, etc. It looks like it made a little squeeze up here, but for right now, yeah, not really doing it for me. All right, we'll keep it going, guys. HMHC. This stock is shortable. It's at the lows of the day. It's not too close to the ground floor, so for right now, we'll put this on our list right off the bat, HMHC. Don't really, oh yeah, no, you do right here. I was going to say, you didn't really see a bigger order, but nope, right here, 220, a 35,000 share order on the bid. So 220 definitely is a big support here on this HMHC trade. All right. Can't see the line, but if it goes down there, you'll see it. There we go. All right, let's see. Current time, 2:47. Guys, we have class at 3:05 Eastern time, so I will quickly just finish up this losers list here. Pets, for as much as it dropped, there could be a little range to work with going into the final 30 minutes, but man, it's been flat. So I am going to pass on that. I was going to get to the mRNA trade down 13+%, ended up trending down in pre-market shortly after the open, just completely tanked. I think this got halted. To the point where this got halted after the open. That's right. Ended up reopening up 5 minutes later, and of course, spiked down lower. It recovered a bit, but now it's back kind of meddling around that 82 price again. So, you know what? I normally wouldn't put a stock like this on our list, but given the range, given the activity today, the fact it's still shortable, and keep in mind, this is more of a level 5 stock. As a newly enrolled student, I would never look to touch a stock like this. I mean, price aside, we're just talking about a stock that has a wacky spread, much lighter, smaller orders on the level 3 on the TradeStation matrix, albeit you can see support at 82, not much else above or below that price. So for now, I'll definitely keep the mRNA on our list, just more of a level 5 stock. All right, let's see. Otherwise, anything else that's like hard to borrow, maybe due for a bounce? Nikola? Holy smokes. Nikola's already, geez, another one that I didn't really focus much on myself this morning. I knew Friday after hours they had the common stock offering, so it diluted the stock price quite a bit, but damn, this thing took a hit. I think this could be due for a bounce. I don't know if it's going to be this afternoon, but you know what? I will put this on our list at the end here. The NKLA, for as much as this stock dropped, not even in pre-market and after hours Friday, but the last 2 days before that, the trend across the last week. So I just feel like with this holding well here, perhaps this is due for a little bit of a spike up going into the close. All right, guys, if there's anything else, let me know. Across the board, up, down, 5, or let's go like 10% plus. One of us here on YouTube, DPW, think it can move back up? That's the tough one. My guess is going to be no. For stocks like this that make these pops early in the morning, then they dump off shortly after the open, if it's continuing to drop like it is here, I'm not banking on any sort of pop going into the close. If anything, look to see if it can hold around 3 first there. All right, guys. OPK, we'll take a quick look at. Chuck's been hitting this thing pretty hard, rightfully so. Nice pop from 475 up to 509, the high of the day. And I'll take a quick look on Benzinga Pro, guys. OPK came out with news a little while back with like COVID testing kits, but then they came out with some partnership with Major League Soccer in terms of making sure their players are tested and everything else. So that was like the news headline that I got. I think it was a week ago there. Here's a new one, so I'll copy and paste. OPK Labs awarded commercial surge capacity testing for coronavirus emergency response contract by the CDC. So I will just copy and paste that on the social streams here. But otherwise, yeah, OPK will add to our list. Great call. All right, now it's becoming a 12 stock list. Like I said, this is my fear. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. All right, so we got room for maybe one more. Doesn't need to be one more, but let's see. SRNE from Daniel. Ooh, there it is. It's on our side list. It's trying to squeeze up there. And it's over 815, Daniel, most importantly. Yes, so SRNE will be the 12th, and that'll be it. All right, guys. So unless if there's something really like popping up 50% or something crazy one that just is coming across like OPK just did, let me know. But I think that we're good otherwise. Chuck says the VBIV. Yeah, that I got to say, if we didn't have 12 stocks on the list already, Chuck, I perhaps would have added this one. Shortable ended up dropping off early this morning after holding resistance off of 7. Really easy trade on the way down. It still seems like it's fairly steady and easy, not like too volatile or shaky. So very tradable stock by all measures. I just think that we have like so much on the list already. It's going to be hard to follow all of these. Chuck says he's short from 599. Excellent trade, Chuck, so far. Hopefully a lot more room to go, given how much this stock has moved the last few days, guys, right? Even on the daily chart. Looking on VBIV, even on these red days, a couple of them at least, it was after the stock gapped in the pre-market. So for as much as this stock ran over the last 2 weeks, a really sharp drop at the open, we might see a little bit more going into the close. So, Chuck, I think that you're in a good spot, man. All right, guys, 12 stocks to work with though in total. Let me post and tweet these out to you guys right now. Give me a quick sec. I think that we already posted the link for class inside the trading room. So I think that you guys are good to go. For all of us here streaming across social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, just if you guys would like to learn more about Cyber Trading University, first and foremost, just make sure that you guys subscribe and notify yourself to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/cybertradingu/live. At least from there, you'll have a better chance of knowing when we're live, when we're not. We try and do these meetings in particular at 9 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time daily, but there are other points where myself or even Fausto may look to jump back on the mic going into the afternoon. So always want to make sure that you guys know when we're live, when we're not. All right, for all of us here in the trading room, best of luck going into the close. I look forward to seeing most of you guys here going into class, but for those of you not joining me in class, best of luck going into this Monday afternoon, guys. Take care.